It is physically impossible for me to get off this couch. My legs are no longer functioning. And even if I could move, I wouldn't want to do any of the vile things on this list. Who would? It's a hideous existence. This is Rebooting the Beast, a podcast in 2 parts. I'm Matt Molinaro.
And I'm Ann Burke. In the first episode, we review an original piece of media, and in the subsequent episodes, we discuss the reboot.
That's right, and that quote was very relatable to my daily experience.
Yes, very, very much so.
This week we did the reboot to, obviously you've listened to last week's episode, and if you haven't, hello, but we're doing Overboard.
Yeah, did you, I remember hearing absolutely nothing about this ever being rebooted, so was it, I didn't even look up, was it made for movies or made for TV?
No, it was made for movies. It was made for the big screen.
Okay.
It was widely released, or whatever they call it. It was right before a pandemic, so I wonder really how big of a splash it made. Have they redone Splash?
The minute you said that, I was like, I have to find out if they've rebooted Splash because we need to watch it if so.
Right? Amazing. We could always just watch Aquamarine and call it a reboot. Okay, but no, I had heard that a reboot was in the zeitgeist or whatever. Or not even in the zeitgeist yet. I had heard it was being talked about before it came out, and that's the first and last I heard of it until we started doing this podcast. Because I love the original, as you all know, if you've listened to last week's episode. So when, the algorithm spit out that Anna Faris was going to be in a reboot of Overboard, I was like, oh my god, fun. But that was kind of it.
Yeah. I had no idea that it had been rebooted, and I also didn't know who was in it until I pressed play and started watching people.
Yeah, I only knew the main 2 because I saw the the poster or whatever, and I wasn't familiar with Eugenio Derbez. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that badly. But I knew Anna Faris was in it, and I thought that's an interesting choice, and I like her, so I was excited.
By the way, Splash, there is a planned remake of it, and apparently it is set to, as of the most recent reporting, it was set to star Channing Tatum and Jillian Bell from SNL.
Jillian Bell? I don't think I know who that is.
Can find a photo. Bell.
Sorry, Jillian. I'm not familiar with your work.
Oh, you would recognize her if you Googled her.
Jillian Bell?
Yeah. Jillian with a J.
She wasn't on SNL?
She was a writer for SNL. Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say she looks familiar to me, but not from SNL. What does she look for? I think I know of her, but all right, well, hey, listen, Jillian Bell. Are you Daryl Hannah? Which character are you? Maybe it's gender swapped. Maybe Channing Tatum.
I was going to say
mermaid.
Channing Tatum as the mermaid would be great.
Oh, 100%.
I think that would involve a lot of topless shots, and I'd be fine with it.
Exactly. Stay underwater. Yeah, so I was not sure what to expect, but I did, ahead of the movie, watch the trailer on Amazon or whatever we watched it on, and I saw the concept was a little different, and I was like, oh, that's kind of fun, that's interesting. So I was wondering what you would think when you saw.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into it as I think we get along, but there were some changes that I was like, oh, this is good. I like this change.
Yeah. I went into, let's talk about how we obviously have never seen it and hadn't heard much about it. Going into the movie, what was your expectation?
I mean, I think we've scientifically proven that a lot of the time a reboot is bad. And so I didn't know, I didn't have high expectations, but
I didn't either.
It didn't see, like, the fact that they didn't just do a shot for shot remake, I think is always good, because we've talked about before, like, when you just do a shot for shot, like when they did Psycho, it's what are you doing? Yeah. But if you're putting a different twist on the story, or maybe trying to fix some problems from the original, then I think we're onto something. And so I was kind of like, oh, okay, they're making some pretty big changes, and so maybe this will be good.
All right, yeah. I mean, I kind of was in the same place. I personally love the original, so it was like, this is already not going to be as good, I thought in my head. I didn't hear a ton about it, so I was like, well, that's probably a teller.
A bad
'Cause,
sign. Yeah.
you know, I feel like I would have. And yeah, I was curious, but I was hopeful. But honestly, I was hopeful in the way that it's like you're hopeful when you see one of your friends, like kids, do something that you have to watch them do, and you're really hopeful it's good so you don't have to lie. It's that kind of thing. Like, I wanted to like it, but I was like wanting to like it in a way that was like, I probably am going to be upset. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
where I was. But did you recognize? Oh, there's only one other person on the cast I recognized by name, which was Eva Longoria.
Yes, of
But I did
course.
recognize Mel Rodriguez as an actor when he was in it. I don't know what I've seen him in, but he's like looks like someone I've seen in a million things. He's Bobby,
Who was he? Bobby. Oh, okay.
like Eva's husband. And obviously I recognized what's his name? Oh god, he's so hot. Is it Josh Segarra? Is that his name?
Oh,
Yes.
Josh Segarra. Yeah, you know what's funny is I thought he was in the other two. Was he not?
I don't think so.
I thought
You
he
know what
was
I
the
remember him from
boyfriend.
like most recently was oh wait, he was in the other two. He
Was he?
was. I never
Wasn't he?
finished it. He was in gosh, what was he? Let me look up his character. Oh yeah, the ex-boyfriend. That's
In the other
right.
two. Okay, okay, okay. I was right. Yeah, that's what I recognized him from.
Yeah, that's right. I was like, is he? I think he was in, oh gosh, Abbott Elementary not too long ago.
Oh, okay.
I feel like he. Oh god, am I wrong? Let me see. Let me look it up. Me and David were like, is that the guy from Abbott Elementary? Oh, maybe we're wrong. Ooh, he wasn't. Oh, Orange is the New Black. That's what I recognize him
Yeah,
from.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay. Anyway. Oh, he. Okay, I am right. He was in Abbott Elementary. Okay, good. I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
But he just has this thing. A, he's really hot, and
Very.
B, he does this thing. The way he talks, like out of the side of his mouth,
Yeah.
it's just something about it.
Yeah, agreed.
It's like
Very
the
cute.
in the first Overboard, the shirt thing.
Yes.
This is like his. That's what it does it for me. Um,
Yeah,
okay,
every time you see him, you're like distracted by whatever else is happening.
exactly. I'm like, just keep talking and take your take your shirt off. You're working outside.
All right,
It's
well,
hot.
this movie opens with
Oh, do you want the
women on
summary?
bikinis. Oh, yes. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. It's after a spoiled, wealthy yacht owner is thrown overboard and loses his memory, a mistreated employee convinces him that he is her working class husband.
Very accurate.
Very accurate for once.
So this time, the rich person is a guy, and the person who is like financially struggling is a woman who is played by Anna Faris.
Hmm.
And he's like, on his yacht on wave runners with a bunch of women in bikinis. And Anna Faris is like driving a like 1980s Toyota Camry, trying to do an audiobook study for her nursing exam
Yeah,
while
so
she's delivering pizza.
he's having like an orgy with like a group of like influencers, and she's singing about bloody stool in the car.
Yes, yes.
So we see the contrast.
So her boss at the pizza place is Eva Longoria,
Hmm.
and we kind of just like get a slice of her life. She's like picking up her kids from school. Her oldest is like super embarrassed to be picked up by a pizza delivery car at school.
Hmm.
And I guess the yacht has to stop for some like engine repairs, so they stop in her town, which is also Elk Grove, I think.
Yes, it's the same town from the original.
Yeah.
Very cute.
So we also get this. Okay, so I'm curious to know your thought on this. We also get this like sub story of the rich guy's dad is like the head of CEO of this like $1 billion company.
Yeah,
And
the third richest person
is
in the world.
yeah, third richest person in the world, and seems to be like dying.
Hmm.
And his like family is like trying to prevent him from becoming the president of the company because that's the father's dying wishes. But he has two daughters who are like much more competent and involved in the business than the rich guy is. And so I'm just curious, like, did you think all of this subplot was necessary?
At first, I was curious to what they were doing. I personally really enjoy the subplot, and I'll tell you why.
Okay, do it.
I was wondering what was happening. I was like, okay, this is interesting. But then I started to think about the ideas that were going to come up. Because in this, the immediate differences that we notice is he is not married on the boat. He's a single man. So
yes,
he doesn't have a spouse that's going to be like looking for him. Someone else is going to have to be looking for him. So I kind of understood like a family angle. And then I thought down the line, what is going to be the sort of like, what life do I choose thing? And so I sort of saw what they were like setting up. And I thought that for me, two of my favorite characters of the whole movie are his sisters.
Yeah.
And most of my favorite lines were from them, and they were all in Spanish, so I couldn't choose them. Because their family's all from Mexico, and so a lot of the language, the dialogue is in Spanish, and most of the funniest dialogue is in Spanish. I also felt like I liked their characters and the way they interacted with each other, so I was totally down for it. And I felt like from the jump, they were sort of mirroring a telenovela sort of plot line with what was happening with them. And they had like a telenovela going on in the background every time in the pizza shop. So I kind of felt like it was all tying together, you know? I was feeling what I was picking up what they were putting down.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you were not a huge fan of the plotline.
I mean, it wasn't bad. It just felt like unnecessarily complicated in some ways. Like the fact that there was like two sisters who were like vying for like the president position at the company and all of that. It just felt a little convoluted at times, but it was fine.
I don't know if this is in the trivia because I didn't look up a lot of trivia, but this is something interesting I noticed when I was looking for the exact quote. I found the script for the movie, which I'm guessing is the original script, which I usually can find when I'm doing this. But there were like a lot of changes from the original script, just from a cursory glance over it for quotes. Mainly,
really?
It used to be a brother and a sister, not two sisters. And the like antagonist was a man originally in the script. So the plot line looked a little different. And when I looked through it, like there were other little changes like that were very different because of that, like dialogue wise and things like that. So I think they changed a lot from that part to the screen. And I also looked they were making some sort of weird subplot with her and her ex-husband, or her Anna Faris's widow, passed away husband. I don't know what the word is.
Yeah.
They had like scenes of her going to his gravesite and stuff like that and talking to him about what was going on. A lot of strange things were cut from this movie, and I was like, okay, I think they ended up with a better script than
version
it would have been.
You know, now that you say that, did they ever even once address what happened to the father of her children?
I think they just said that he's gone, but I don't think they ever even said that. No, they just said he's dead at the beginning because she's arguing with her mom, and her mom's talking about how their situations are similar, and she's like, "Dad's divorced, not dead." Or you guys are divorced.
That's true. Okay,
that's literally the one and only moment.
Okay,
now that you mentioned
remember
it,
that now. Yeah.
Actually, in the original, did they do anything to talk about the ex-wife at all?
Similarly, it's just Kurt Russell talking to the principal, saying like she's dead.
How rude!
I know.
Anyway.
All right. Well, so we get that little subplot of Leonardo, who's the rich bachelor on the yacht. His sister's wanting to take over the company.
I feel like it's mainly the one sister, and the other one is sort of like the ignored sister with the music.
Yeah, that's fair. The middle sister. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then let's see. Anna Faris is like, her nursing exam is coming up in a month, and so she's working odd jobs trying to make ends meet for her kids. Mm-hmm. And one of those happens to be carpet cleaning on the yacht of Leonardo. Mm-hmm. So here's okay. I think something interesting. Okay, in the original, sorry. In the original, I think Goldie Hawn was far more entitled, antagonistic, whatever. In this one, I found him to be like a little clueless, but charmingly clueless.
Yeah, he wasn't as cruel.
He wasn't as mean. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't. He wasn't like unkind. He was just like off-putting.
Yes, and entitled, yeah.
Yeah, and like he peppered in some more rude comments and he didn't treat people the best, but like yeah, it was definitely a different I wouldn't call it abuse necessarily.
That's fair, yeah.
Whereas in the first one she was like really a lot. And I also feel like they charmed him up a little bit and they kind of I don't know. They made I felt like she was a much more believable character also. Like she wasn't quite as sassy or like to him as Goldie Hawn's as Kurt Russell was to Goldie Hawn on the boat.
I agree.
Like they didn't have a lot of interaction before the blow up, you know?
Agreed. And I feel like that both worked and it didn't, because then when suddenly they're fighting over the pay, it feels very
0 to 100
out of nowhere. Yeah, 0 to 100, exactly. Yeah,
I liked it, but I also, for that reason, I felt like I didn't even feel so much about that moment, but it made the connection between them harder to establish.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they didn't have like a particularly antagonistic relationship to begin with.
Right. Yeah, because you don't, in the original, there's implied longer amounts of time because he's doing carpentry work as opposed to like carpet cleaning, which is a couple hours. And so it feels like he's had to tolerate her snotty behavior for longer than Anna Faris did in this one.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So anyway, I did like her accidentally eating a piece of soap thinking it's candy.
Yes, that was so... I would have wanted to do that. I would have been too afraid to eat it, but I would have been like, oh my God, I want this candy.
I think where she was like, they have candy in the bathroom, and then takes a bite out of it. She's like, it's soap. And Ava Longoria is on the phone with her, goes, of course it's not candy. Who keeps candy in the bathroom?
You know what that made me think? I got to start keeping candy in the bathroom, but we got to keep it covered in a way.
Yes, yeah. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, yeah. They did the same sort of thing where she sees at one point that he's got a tattoo on his butt. In this one, it's a tattoo of Speedy Gonzalez instead of being a birthmark.
Yes.
It's a really annoying impression of Speedy Gonzalez.
Yes. Which I have trivia about later, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I did like when he said, you're very attractive for a carpet cleaning lady. You could maybe do something with your hair. No, that's not it. It's your face. That's the line I thought you were going to pick.
That is a good one. I do see that I wrote that down here, too. I also like that he just keeps asking her what animal she looks like.
Yes.
What animal do you look like?
Okay. His sister shows up, tells him, like, we're flying to Mexico. Father's gonna die. You need to take over the company, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. He's like, I don't want to do that. He's like, you like doing all the work. Why don't you do all the work and I'll just be the face of the company? And then everyone is happy.
He's like, perfect, because, it's really works out that way because A, he loves me more than you, and B, you are sort of detestable.
Yes.
She's like, oh my God. Because the whole subplot with her, she does all the work anyway. He doesn't do any of the work for the company, so he's getting the job because he's the son. And
exactly.
The end.
Yeah.
Which is like a subplot throughout. Which I was like, okay, as this was happening, it was becoming more and more clear what was essentially the conclusion. There were some twists that I didn't expect, but essentially I was like, oh, I got it.
Yeah, exactly. So then the kind of fight between Anna and Leonardo happens where he wants her to bring her fruit and he like spends like 5 minutes going, is it mango I want or is it papaya? And she's like, I couldn't possibly know. And then he's like, you know what, you're rude, you're fired. And she's like, pay me and I'll be on my way. And he refuses, of course. She like reams him out, and just like the original she, as Kurt Russell's character, gets pushed off the boat.
Yes, I love how he's like, I can't believe you're making me do this. And then he just pushes her off the boat with like this like tiny little wrist.
Yes.
I loved it. And then he throws all her stuff off the boat, so now she has to now she didn't get paid, and she's got to pay back like thousands of dollars. I think $3,000 for the vacuum and all that stuff. And she loses her job.
Exactly. Yes.
Nightmare.
So then back on the yacht, he's like hooking up with some model, and he opens up a drawer and he says, damn, my condom drawer is empty. And he calls the staff to try to have them bring him condoms, but they're all eating dinner, so they don't pick up the phone.
And dancing.
And And dancing, yes.
I loved
And
that. I loved all the dancing scenes on the boat. I have to say,
yes,
they
the
were
chef
made
or
for
the
me.
captain dancing
Yes.
and like perfectly missing all of the security footage of his boss looking for condoms and falling off the yacht was kind of perfect.
It was perfect. To this like European Europop, electropop
Yes. Yes.
club
Very that.
bangers. I was like, if this was happening in Below Deck and Captain Sandy was doing this,
Oh my god.
iconic. I like that in this one
So-
he falls off the deck looking for condoms instead of a wedding ring.
Yes, agreed.
He grabs them though before he falls off deck.
He does.
And he hangs on to those
And then
condoms for dear life all the way to shore.
Yes. So we kind of like next see him muddy and wearing only a bathrobe, wandering around the town, very confused,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually gets picked up by the sheriff and arrested for,
Running naked.
being nude in public. Yeah.
Which, okay, here's this. He's hot, the actor.
Agreed.
Not doing the same amount for me as Kurt Russell was, though, because he is, like, very covered up, buttoned up this whole movie. Big complaint.
Agreed. Big complaint.
But it's
So-
same as, like, in the original. Now he's in... This is different than the original, though, too, I thought. Like, he's in the hospital. He's being a little bit of a tyrant. He's rude to the nurse. Says he wants a prettier nurse. All the things. But then when, the sister comes to identify him, she's like, oh, that's not my brother. I've never seen him before in my life. In the original, I felt like she was being heinous. Heinous in the
Yes.
hospital the whole while. In this one, he's just like kind of like complaining about fish. And she's like, nope, not my brother. It's much more nefarious. It's much less of a... I mean, actually, in one way, it's much more nefarious because he's not really doing anything to offend her to make her leave. But at the same time, in the first one, it's like literally her husband being like, no, I'm abandoning my wife so I can go cheat on her and do drugs, have an orgy.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe not. Maybe
Yeah,
I
no,
take
in-
it all back.
In this one, yeah, she's like, eventually we'll find out she's going to try to have him declared dead.
Oh my god, those little scenes were good comic gold for me. The scenes
Yeah.
after this where she is randomly at a place getting an urn, and then she's sneaking into a campsite in the middle of the night, filling it with barbecue ash.
Barbecue ash, yeah.
Of all the places she could get ash. But anyway, I'm skipping ahead. What am I doing?
That's okay.
Meanwhile, she arrives home to see she's got... Anna Faris arrives home and sees that she's got an eviction notice, so things have gotten to, like, a real head.
Yes. So she's at the pizza place commiserating with Eva Longoria, and then the chef, like, talks about this, like, guy with amnesia and, like, holds up the phone with the news, and they recognize him. So in this one, which I think is better, is Eva Longoria comes up with the scheme and Anna Faris seems kind of reluctant to it, which I think contributes to the, because eventually we know they're going to end up in love.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I think having somebody else come up with that plan and be like, no, you really should do this, helps the Kurt Russell, Anna Faris type character feel less scummy.
Agreed, 100%. And it feels, she's like, it's poetic justice, right? And even she's kind of like, I know it doesn't sound like the most ethical thing, but she is even like, what's the word? Reconciling it out loud in a way. You know what I mean? It feels much less sneaky and illegal. It also feels like much more planned out in this. She's like, I just need someone to like help me out so that I don't get evicted from my house and lose my kids. And he is responsible because he broke my equipment that I have to pay back for now. So
yeah, and they've upped the stakes, I think, for Anna Faris. I mean, I guess Kurt Russell, the principal, was threatening to call CPS, but Anna Faris is like, I'm about to be homeless with 3 children.
Exactly.
So
I agree. Also, I don't know if they've mentioned this yet, but we definitely didn't. Did you notice in the hospital when I think he's walking the doctor's walking the sister down to identify Leo? He's like, oh, this hasn't happened since the 80s. We had some lady washed up ashore and had amnesia.
Yeah,
And there's
they did a callback to the original. Yeah.
How cute.
I love that.
I was like, shut up. You know me, I love a little callback.
So they Anna Faris goes to the hospital to claim him and uses similarly the birthmark slash in this movie tattoo on his butt cheek to identify him. And this next part killed me because they like take him out and drive him home, and they like get out of the car and they have a perfectly beautiful house, like
Two
lovely house
story...
that any of us would be thrilled to live in.
Yes.
And he goes, "I'm poor." And she says, "Yep."
Must be. I mean, I get it. There's a hole in the ceiling. Like, they really tried to, like, ramshackle it up or whatever. Yeah. I also was like, okay, if that's poor, sign me up, girl.
Honestly. Anyway, so...
The kids also were much less scummy in this movie, too.
Yes, much less. It's three little girls. Delightful. Yes. Yeah, it wasn't like three Dennis the Menaces running around.
Yeah, and I feel like in the 90s and 80s, they always had to have twins. They always had to put twins in a movie. And this one, they just were like, we don't need two kids to be doing the job of one.
Yeah, agreed. So we get... In this movie, there's kind of a plot twist where he, like, wants a drink, and she's like, "Oh, honey, that's why you, like, ended up on the beach. You're sober, and you relapsed." And so he's like, "I'm an alcoholic?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then that's kind of like how because he throughout the movie keeps trying to have sex with her, and she's like, "It's your rule, honey. Like you said, you had to be 30 days sober before we would do it." And so that's her way of getting out of sleeping with him.
Yeah, she's like, you told me to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
She also gets like a marriage license doctored up in this one ahead of time. They do the same thing with the photos, but they do a better job in this one. They're still like,
yes,
not the best, but they're much better. And she has a story about how they met in Cancun and all of that. So there's all that kind of stuff. And the kids are all like in love with him. Oh, daddy, they're all on board. And she gets him in this movie a job. Says it's his job doing construction.
Yes.
And he's like never done a day of work in his whole life, obviously. So
no.
And he's like, "How did I get that job?" And she's like, "With your bowling friend." And his face when he hears that he's a bowler. She also tells him that the children aren't biologically his because they had to use a sperm donor. And she tells him...
So he's like, "I'm infertile?"
And she's like, "Yeah, sorry, honey. Don't you remember?"
Yeah.
I love it. Do you think this movie was a little more slapstick than the original? Yeah, definitely.
Because like there's the scene where he like is cooking pasta and he like forgets that pots are hot when you pick them up off the stovetop, and then he drops it onto the other pot, which sends sauce flying through the kitchen, and he slips on the pasta and falls down. And I was like, I don't know about this. I'm not a big fan of slapstick humor.
Yeah, it was fine. I don't know why they chose to go that route. It was obviously like their redoing of the cooking scenes in the original, but I thought that the cooking scenes in the original, the difference was Goldie Hawn's character was like really going through it. Like it was slapstick in the way like, yes, she's getting sprayed with a fire extinguisher with plates and the hose and stuff like that. So there were those elements of like physical comedy, but it was more like she's really going through it and she's at her wit's end and look at her face and all of that. It wasn't just like bonk, doop, bloop, splash, sploosh.
Yeah, exactly.
So it had a different effect, but whatever. Not everyone could be Goldie Hawn. Not everyone could be Goldie Hawn.
Exactly. Even though, honestly, you're gonna scream at me when I say this. When I started this movie, I was like, "Is this actress Goldie Hawn's daughter?" Because she could easily play Goldie Hawn's daughter.
Oh, Anna Faris?
Yeah.
Oh, totally. When I saw the poster, I was like, "Oh, she's a great choice for Goldie Hawn." Like before I knew they gender swapped it, I was like, "Oh, totally could see her being A, looking like Goldie Hawn, and B, I like Anna Faris, and I could see her doing a good sort of character like that."
Yeah. So he, does very poorly at his manual labor job. There's a lot of slapstick humor there of him like failing to use a concrete hose effectively for the pool that they're building, and
a lot of machismo on the job that he's now being the recipient of. So he's getting a taste of his own medicine and what him and his dad do to people, because they're all sort of like demeaning him and lots of toxic masculinity on the job site. Not surprising. But this time he's like, oh, it's me now.
Yeah. I liked the scene at the grocery store where there was a guy who was working on the yacht to do the kind of engine repairs. He kind of like recognizes him but can't quite place him. And he goes, hey, did you work at Jiffy Lube? And Leonardo goes, God, I hope not.
Yes.
And he, of course, hates the food that they have at the house. And so he picks up like a gourmet magazine and kind of starts to like improve the quality of Anna Faris's family's life and like make better tasting pasta. And everybody's like, this is really good. And Anna Faris is like, yeah, but we've had pasta 2 nights in a row now, so I think you should mix it up a little.
Mm-hmm. She's like, yeah, I can't have this going easily for him. She sees he's sort of like settling into it, and she's like, oh, no. We got to make this a little harder, up the ante.
Yeah. Then I think we get at the construction site, Leonardo kind of talking about how he feels like he's living someone else's life and all of the other men. Oh, and that he's like just a paycheck to people. And they're like, we all feel that way. Like, you're not alone. Like, we all think that we should be living in this mansion, working and living someone else's life. And he was like, oh, damn. Like, that sucks that we all feel this way.
Yeah, they're like, that's just being a man, bro. And
he's
like, great. Okay, so this is just life. And they're like, yep.
But I think that's kind of the point where he starts to like turn around a little bit and put in a little more effort. And like he goes and picks up frozen yogurt for her and all of that.
Yeah, he remembers frozen yogurt because she said that that's something that they used to do. So he's like being thoughtful and picks up shifts at her job so she could study. He's doing a little better at work. La-da-da. We also have a subplot that wasn't necessary, but I think it was just like 2 scenes, so it was totally fine. And I thought they were funny, which was her mom.
Oh my God.
Her mom, who is like doing community theater at a retirement home and is totally Luann de Lesseps in like 15 years.
Yes.
She's like a total lunatic. And when we see her later, words.
The 3 Little Maids from School Are We song.
Yes. I was dying at their reaction.
Yeah.
I love what that is the catalyst for. But anyway, I'll get to that in a second. Yeah, we get some scenes of her mom who's totally like a showgirl who's giving her daughter the message throughout the movie of like, live your life. You have to do something for yourself and not live for everybody else and live your dreams, which is a great message, but it's being totally missed because it's through the vein of like her doing cultural appropriation community theater.
Yes. Okay. Meanwhile, in our subplot in Mexico, the middle sister kind of looks at the urn on the bottom of the urn that supposedly Leonardo's ashes are in because he apparently, quote unquote, died in a shark attack.
Right. And it's cremated.
And the eldest sister had him cremated. And she sees like the number for the mortuary on the bottom. So she starts calling to be like, can I get the death certificate for my brother who died? Like, you cremated him recently. And we don't see all of the answers immediately. They're kind of like pieced together over time. But basically the mortuary is like, we don't have a death certificate. We just sold a lady an urn.
Mm-hmm.
And then she calls the police department later to be like, my brother Leonardo died in a shark attack. And they're like, we haven't had a shark attack since the 80s. Like, nobody was killed in a shark attack. And so she's kind of like piecing together that like maybe the elder sister is lying about her brother being dead.
Yes.
So that's kind of like happening pieced together in the background.
And it's very telenovela every time she's on the phone. It's more and more preposterous. The shark attack, the fake death, and all of that. I really enjoyed all of that little stuff happening. Because at the same time, whenever you go to the pizza place, they're watching some sort of telenovela that has some sort of ridiculous plot going on. And I noticed the characters in the soap opera that they're watching are named Catalina and Arturo, which are the same names of the people on the boat story.
Yeah, from the original movie.
So cute.
Yeah.
So I was really enjoying all these little things. If you couldn't tell, I was enjoying the movie.
So Leonardo's kind of adjusting to his new life. He is very happy that he gets a paycheck at his construction job, and it's kind of like, this feels like the first paycheck I've ever gotten. Um, and he's like watching the girls, and the older sister asks Leonardo, like, hey, if you can watch my younger sisters, like, then I can go to the pool. And he's like, yeah, no problem. Totally. And so she goes off to the pool, but Anna Faris catches her and like drags her out of the pool and is like, you agreed to watch your sisters. You broke your promise. They get home. Leonardo and the other kids are watching football, which, even though originally, like, the whole plot was he was like, football? Oof, what?
Yeah.
And now he's like getting into it with the younger girls, and she grounds the older daughter, and Leonardo kind of tells her, like, you're overparenting her. Like, she's a child. Like, you have to let her, like, live her life and whatever. And, she says things, of course, like, these aren't even your kids. And he thinks that's a low blow because, he believes that it was just because of a sperm donor. Meanwhile, in her head, she's like, oh no, you're somebody with a brain injury that I've just let in my house.
Low blow.
Yeah.
I did like that.
Low blow. Yeah. So he goes to an AA meeting and then comes back later and says he'll try harder, and he makes her coffee and says, I'll take the kids all day Sunday. You can study. And I'll pick up a few of your pizza shifts so that you have more time to study. And it's all very sweet. And then he accidentally cuts himself on a knife and apparently is a big blood. I was going to say blood freak, but that makes him sound like a vampire or something. He freaks out at the sight of blood and is a big baby. But of course, she's training to be a nurse. So she bandages him and, they kind of bond over it. And
I felt like this scene was supposed to be like a scene where they really connect,
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like they really connected very well.
Yeah, not really. I mean,
the romance wasn't building in the same way as the original one,
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I think
it was so tepid.
It was, but I think that the fact that as the amnesiac, he was still interested in her in a way that Goldie Hawn didn't seem to be kind of until the last moment.
That's true.
Made it a little more believable to me.
That's true. It did feel more natural, for sure.
Yeah. So, he drops the eldest off at the swimming pool, but as he pulls away, sees her like talking to the lifeguard and is like, oh, so this is why she wants to go swimming all the time, and like starts pulling her out of the pool and like chastising her. And he's like, that boy only wants one thing from you. And she's like, he's gay. And then he's like, oh.
I love
but
that
it kind of provides this opportunity for the eldest daughter to kind of explain why she's so unhappy. Like, they moved from Portland, like, and just kind of like opens up on everything that's been bothering her. And so they kind of actually have like a parental bonding sort of moment, which I think is sweet.
Yes.
And I think a little more depth than what we got in the original.
I agree.
I think.
The connections with the kids all felt much more meaningful in this one.
Agreed.
She has this bonding moment, and then I think he teaches one of the kids to ride a bike without training wheels, and he has a moment with one of them about, dad's never leaving, and it was very cute, all of the moments with the kids. And the kids were much better actors in this movie than I expected.
Much.
Especially the oldest one. That girl, that oldest daughter, has angry teenager face down. Ooh, angry or upset teenager face. She is a masterclass.
Agreed. Okay, so let's see. Anna Faris finishes her test, and Ava she's like, I finished my test. She's talking to Ava Longoria, and she's like, I think it's time. I think I have to tell him, like, I got through my test. Like, he's kind of worked off his debt to me, blah, blah, blah. And Ava's like, but things are going so well. Are you sure that you don't want to, like, keep him around longer? And she's like, I think I've tortured him long enough. And so, much like the original, she's about to confess, but then she sees, like, he's made a lovely dinner for the kids and things are going so well. And so instead of confessing, she says, I forgot it's our anniversary.
I was like, why didn't they do that in the original? Why do you say I forgot it's your birthday?
I know.
Such a better cover.
Agreed. So they go dancing, they have a great time.
The singer's
they
really
kiss
hot
after the
worker from
from
before.
Thank you. Yes. And they, get the story about the boats honking 3 times like the original, and they kiss, they have sex, and things are going well. Anna Faris is kind of like, okay, maybe this is actually working okay. And then the next day we get the sort of like cheating scene that we get from the original, when he goes to find a pen in the glove box and instead finds like a roll of condoms, which were the ones that he had as his belongings from being arrested.
Yeah.
So he thinks she's cheating on him, and of course this is when she decides to try to confess everything, and instead the kids are like, "You're our dad, we love you," and Ava Longoria is like, "Oh, those are my condoms, I've been cheating on Bobby.
I'm a sex addict."
And so, yeah, I'm a sex addict.
Don't
so Anna
judge
Faris
me.
is like, I tried to confess, and everybody's like keeping up the lie.
Yeah.
So
she passes her
meanwhile-
test in this one. There's no elaborate
Yes.
theme park
Golf
land
golf scene.
extravaganza.
Yes. There's no really amazing art scenes where she discovers what an artiste that she is.
No, there isn't. But you know what I did? You know what I did learn? You remember in the first one, I was very excited to learn how they did the inside of a golf set or whatever you call that.
Yes.
This time I learned how they do cement sideways out of that cement blasting gun thing.
Yeah.
That was cool. I never saw that before. Did you know that they have a cement blasting tube gun thing that they shoot on walls?
I did know
walls.
that, yes.
You did know
I
that?
did.
Just me?
Yes.
I missed that episode of Sesame Street growing up. I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
So I'm glad I still learned something, even though we didn't get the golf
Yes.
scene. But anyway, so she passes the
Yes.
test and they have the party, and that's the big celebration we get in this one.
Yes, and the guy who thinks he recognizes Leonardo finally puts it together who he is and posts a photo of him on Instagram, which of course then like the crew of the ship see the photo, and like the family finds out Leonardo's not dead.
Okay, but
The
wait.
older sister, what?
Wait, this is one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Okay.
The scene when they find out he's not dead. They're doing a memorial for him on the boat. It's just the two sisters and the dad, and they're all like very dramatically standing there. Obviously, the older sister is the only one that knows he's not actually dead. She's just feigning like being sad. But the middle sister, or whatever, the one who's been like suspicious the whole time, who's been talking about how he's been supporting her music career through the whole thing, and how nobody but him ever supports her, and you're kind of like rooting for her. She's like, I'm gonna play a piece dedicated to him, and she starts playing the cello with a lot of sincerity and solemnness, and it's so bad.
It's bad.
It's
Yes.
so bad. But like, so she's so serious about it, the actress, and I was cracking up, and the faces on her sister and her dad as she's doing it and getting like more into it. And at one part, he stops like his like ceremony. He's like, "That's enough, Karina. That'll be all."
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
Dead. And then they find out he's not actually dead, and it all. They're like, oh, finally.
Yeah. In this movie, he proposes to Anna Faris before finding out about his memory. She says yes, because I think she does actually kind of love him at this point.
Yeah, he's just doing it symbolically, because he's like, I know we're already married, but I don't remember, so I want to do it again. And it feels like she really gets it, like, oh my God, this can really be maybe a thing.
Yeah. But when they get home from the beach, Leonardo's family, his father and sisters are all there. And he's just like in the original. He's like, hi, and names them by name, and then walks into the house and then comes back out and has like remembered everything.
Yeah. It's almost, I think, there's a lot of scenes in this that have like picked up exact lines, which I liked. It felt like the right amount. It didn't feel like shot. It felt really honorific or whatever the word is. And in this scene, I think it was appropriate to like basically keep it almost exactly the same.
Yeah, I really liked that they kept the line, like, you're that awful carpet cleaner lady who hates me.
Yes.
And when he goes into the house to say, like, I have to get my stuff, and then comes back out and says, nothing in there is mine. And I'm pretty sure that because she says, for what it's worth, I'm sorry and thank you. I'm pretty sure that was in the original.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And then he's like, leaves, and the kids, same as in the original, the kids follow and scream at the car, and it's very, oh, my heart. Did the same. Yeah. That moment had the same effect on me as the original. I don't think he did as well of a expression of Goldie Hawn doing it, but it still was impactful. Yeah. Hers felt more I don't know. It felt more emotion. I don't know. It felt more real, like a real coming to of everything. This felt like a little bit like the
A little
saccharine version.
soapy. Yeah. Yeah.
But I loved it. I loved that they kept it the same. I was really sad when they saw him leaving.
Yeah. So he goes back to his life, but is again just like Goldie, kind of having trouble adjusting. She goes and sees her mom's school play that she's doing, where she's dressed as a geisha doing Three Little Maids from School Are We.
Dead with two equally like very white, very
yes,
poorly performing, but really into it. Seniors.
Yes.
And the looks on her and her daughter's faces watching it of horror. One of them goes, "This is horrifying." And the other one goes, "Why is she doing this?" And Anna Faris goes, you know, you gotta follow your dreams and do what feels right.
Yeah.
And they're like all watching.
Life is short.
Yeah, life is short. And she goes, "Yeah, we're leaving."
Yeah. She says we're gonna go get Leo.
Yes.
So
I love that.
Bobby
that's what was the inspiration to leave. That was great. And by the way, this, I don't know if this is the trivia or not, but I saw this is one of the other things that was changed a lot in the original script, which I found because I was like, oh, I wonder if there was anything funny in that scene as a quote. In the original, number one, it's Wicked, not she's doing Wicked, not this play, and she's playing Elphaba flying across the stage. And afterwards, they go see her in the dressing room to congratulate her. They said she did a great job, and she has like a touching like speech with her daughter about like follow your dreams, and then she leaves. This was much better.
Agreed. Yes, it was a much needed moment of like levity and weirdness at the end of the movie.
Yes.
So they chase him on a boat. He sees them coming. He fights with his family.
By the way, I liked it that it wasn't like a random Coast Guard boat that someone had a friend in the Coast Guard to charter. It was like the boat they were talking about through the whole movie that Bobby had.
Yes, exactly.
Made more sense.
So they jump off the boats. They kiss in the water. Yada yada yada.
Catalina, Arturo, cutesy.
Yes.
But I did like the change in this one. I thought was kind of funny where like the dad's like, "I'll cut you off if you leave," and he's like, "Fine," and he goes and swims after her, but he like calls out to him like from a, you know, air whatever that thing what's that, megaphone? There you go.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'll cut you off for real, like that's it, this is it." And he's like, "Wait, do you mean like really cut me off?" And he has like this whole negotiation in the water back and forth screaming. And they're like, and I think Bobby is like, "Listen, we would totally understand if you didn't want to, you know, lose that money." And they're like, "What are you doing?" Stop.
Yeah.
I like the whole like let's be realistic here versus in the other one where he's like, she's like, "Oh, I have all that money." This one was like, no, he actually had to like lose something, you know?
Yeah. But then 5 minutes later, we find out because what his like favorite butler comes and says, actually, the yacht is still in your name and it's worth over $60 million. So he still has a fuck ton of money.
Yes.
And
but he didn't
they
know
get
that.
to live happily ever after.
I
know. Which I like. I liked that.
Yes. I like that. And the sister who plays cello gets the company instead. And they send off the other sister to do charity work, which was the swap of the two. And she's like, "Oh, I have to help those ugly, starving children." And they're like, "Yes." And she's like, "Oh, God." Yes. Did you watch the after credit little scenes?
Oh, I didn't. No.
It wasn't much. They just, in the very beginning of, it wasn't really after credit. In the very beginning of the credits, they played like scenes aside, like the words. And it was like, everyone doing wedding toasts, basically.
Oh, okay.
For them. It was cute. It was like Bobby was saying he never got cheated on. Just wanted to make that clear to everybody. The sister who owns the company says she wants to give the gift of music and starts playing oboe really poorly.
Oh, God.
The younger daughter says something in Spanish because she's taking Spanish lessons now. They show clips of the sister doing charity work. And if for nothing else, just to see that scene, it would be funny to go watch back because it's like her sending in a video and it's so those videos of like rich white women in like a country like surrounded by young children that she has no connection to, you know, with like beads, and she's like, I'm so enriched by this work here. And you could just see all the insincerity. God. And she's like, the kids love me. And the kids are like, no, we don't. I think that's most
that's
of it.
funny.
They show like the mom's doing another community theater thing. Oh, the mom is like, I'm playing someone in Fiddler on the Roof.
Yeah, oh God.
It's cute. I think that's the most of it. But I was like, this was cute, and then that was it.
Do you want a couple pieces of trivia?
I do.
Okay, well, you already caught one, which was that the characters in the soap opera are Catalina and Arturo, which are the same names in the story told in the first Overboard movie.
So cute.
When the middle sister is asking the police officer about a shark attack, the officer is named Brody, which is a nod to the sheriff in Jaws.
Oh.
And then these next two are pretty wild. So originally, Jennifer Lopez was cast as the lead in the remake of Overboard when it was being discussed back in 2010, and it was set to be produced by Will Smith.
What?
Yes. And then my favorite, which is like a weird glitch in the Matrix, is on episode 82 of the podcast What's the Tea with RuPaul. RuPaul brings up in conversation with Anna Faris, who's a guest on the podcast, about Goldie Hawn and says she should remake Overboard. And then it happened like several years later.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
That, queer people always know.
We do.
We always have a clue.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
All right, tell me about the ratings of this one.
Okay. So let's see. Ratings. By the way, Jennifer Lopez is playing the lead in a reboot of Curse of the Spider-Woman. It is a musical, and
okay.
It is a classic.
Is she going to be singing? Is she going to be singing?
So. I think this is like her probably I shouldn't say last chance, but I think this is her. She's had a few floppy attempts
Big old
at,
flops.
career stuff lately.
Yeah.
I did watch the trailer. It looks gorgeous, the movie, so I'm curious how it'll go, but anyway.
So wait, was there a movie or was the original a musical?
I think it's a musical originally, but it's like there is a movie version of it from the past. I don't know if
okay. So we could do it.
I think so. We'll look into it, but just
Okay.
mentioning that since we are talking, we got a lot coming up, everybody.
Yes.
But back to Overboard 2019. We got the ratings of, let's see, IMDb 6.0.
Okay.
Tomato meter for Rotten Tomatoes is 24%.
Woof.
And the audience meter is 54%.
Woof.
I know.
Wow. People are mad. That's really interesting. I think it was as good as the original, quite frankly. So I gave the original a 5, and I'm going to give this one a 5 too.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I liked it. I was pleasantly surprised. I think I gave the original, 7.25?
Exactly.
I'll give this one a 7.0, only because I have a little bit more nostalgia factor for the original, and I felt like this one was just literally as good, if not... And I think it corrected anything that could have been slightly better from the original.
Yeah.
Like, concept-wise, I liked the gender swap. I liked a lot of the decisions they made.
Yeah.
It was funny. I liked the Latin aspect of it too. I watched it with Davey, and I was like, we were cracking up, and I was like, "Do you feel like this was at all like disrespectful?"
Offensive?
I mean,
yeah.
He's not Mexican; he's Costa Rican and Colombian, so he was like, obviously, I don't know exactly, but he's like, I felt like it was funny and totally relatable in many, many ways, and so. I liked all that, and I did not expect any of that at all, and I felt like it really worked. So yeah, I mean, I really liked it. The only reason I got it a little lower is because I do feel like their chemistry wasn't as strong ultimately as Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, but to be
I would
fair,
agree with that. Yeah,
literally fell in love and were married, so
yeah,
might be hard to beat that.
Did you... we forgot to name whether last week's was a beauty or a beast, so we have to do it for both now.
Got it. Well, I would say last week was a beauty, personally.
Okay.
What about you?
I would too, yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, I would say this is a beauty as well.
I agree. I think all around.
Beauties. After, we needed it because we just came off of Swept Away. And I've been swept away. I've been thrown overboard. And I'll tell you, I prefer being thrown overboard.
Agreed. Well, listeners, next, Matt and I have already mapped out like the next 10 weeks worth of episodes that we're going to be covering.
Very ahead of things. We're we're keeping things current. A lot of things that are going to be in the movie theaters.
Yes. So we are doing The War of the Roses, starring Kathleen Turner and
William Hurt?
Michael Douglas.
Oh, oops.
What's that?
I said William Hurt, but I was wrong.
No, Michael Douglas. Next week, followed by The Roses with Olivia Colman and I think Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes, I did see that.
Which is like coming out or in theaters right now. So hopefully we'll be able to see that while we're still in the theater. And then we're going to be moving into spooky season. Oh, no. Then
Not
we're
yet.
doing...
First, we're going to go to the Naked Gun.
Yes, then we're going to do Naked Gun and the reboot. And then we're moving into spooky season. And we're going to do quite a series of Frankenstein movies.
Yes, so get ready for us to start. Get in the vibe. Get in the mode. We're getting off the boat.
Yes.
We're changing vibe.
goodness.
I'm very excited. So next week we're kicking it all off with The War of the Roses, which I've never seen, and I know very, very, very little about other than it exists. So I'm going to try to go into that. I'm not going to watch a trailer. I've literally only looked up the IMDb summary. That's as much as I know in the cast.
I remember it. I haven't seen it in probably 20 years, but I remember it being very funny. So I hope that is still true.
Yeah. I know about it as an existing movie that people say, like, one of the movies you have to watch, because I'm a movie buff. But yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to see what happens.
Well, in the meantime, if you enjoyed listening to this and you would like to show your gratitude, we would love it if you would write us a review and just do a little subscribe to our podcast.
Yes, and while you're at it, if you want to tell a friend who you think might be interested in our podcast, that would be great, because word of mouth is the best way to get our podcast going.
Yes, our social media is RebootyPod on Instagram. You can email us at rebootypod@gmail.com. We love getting emails, so send a note and say hi. And
we have a Patreon if you just can't get enough of us, and I know I could not get enough of my own voice, so if you want to check that out, it's patreon.com/N&Matt. We do movie reviews, games, and we take suggestions.
Thank you so much for listening to Rebooty and the Beast.
See you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.